My brother laughed at me across the dinner table for babying my husband, so I finally said the thing the whole family had been pretending not to see, and his wife walked out before I finished the sentence. For years, anytime I did something kind for my husband Daniel, my brother Marcus treated it like a punchline. Daniel's an ER tech who pulls overnight shifts, and he comes home wrecked, gray under the eyes, barely able to stand. Last month at my parents' place, Daniel eased into a chair and pressed his palms into his lower back, so I got up and grabbed him a heating pad from the hall closet. Marcus snorted. Are you serious? He's a grown man. He can get his own pad. The table went quiet. Daniel gave a tight little smile, and I let it slide. 2 weeks later, I mentioned I'd packed Daniel a lunch because his shift ran through dinner. Marcus rolled his eyes. Must be nice having a personal chef. Daniel just looked at his plate. I could see it land on him. Then came last Sunday. Daniel had mentioned his feet were swollen from being on them 14 hours. But before he even said it, Marcus was already in a mood. His wife Priya offered to refill everyone's water, and Marcus muttered, "Sit down. You don't have to perform for everyone." Priya froze, pitcher in hand. He kept going. When my dad asked Priya about her new job, Marcus cut in, "It's data entry, Dad. It's not interesting." I watched Priya's face close up like a door. Without really thinking, I reached over and started rubbing the knot out of Daniel's shoulder, right there at the table. Marcus dropped his fork so hard the plates jumped. Oh my God, why do you always do that? He has hands. He's not an invalid. He wasn't even looking at Daniel. He was staring at me, like I was the one humiliating him. You treat him like he's made of glass. Daniel whispered, "It's okay," and pulled his shoulder away, shrinking into himself. My mom cleared her throat. My dad studied his potatoes. Nobody spoke. Then Marcus leaned back with this smug little smile and added, "You know what's funny? You never fussed over me like this growing up. I'm your actual blood. He's just a guy you married." And that's when something in me snapped, because I suddenly understood this had nothing to do with Daniel. It was about Marcus and Priya. Priya is one of the gentlest people I know. She remembers everyone's birthday. She still tries to hold Marcus's hand at family dinners, and I've watched him pull away every single time for 9 years. On their honeymoon, he'd booked a surprise suite, and she'd spent the trip pointing out everything wrong with it. He'd stopped surprising her after that. At my wedding, Priya pulled me aside, eyes wet, and said, "I don't know what I do wrong. When I'm affectionate, he says I'm needy. When I give him space, he says I'm cold. There's no version of me that's right." I had no answer for her, and I'd hated myself for it ever since. So sitting there, listening to Marcus mock me for being kind to my husband while Priya sat shrunken beside him, I couldn't swallow it one more time. I set my napkin down and looked right at him. "Marcus, you really want to know why I treat Daniel well?" His smile flickered. "Because he says thank you," I said. "Because when I bring him something, he doesn't act like I've insulted him. Because being good to someone is easy when they let you." Marcus's face darkened. "That's not the point." "It's exactly the point," I said. "Daniel isn't spoiled. He's grateful. What's actually bothering you is that Priya stopped getting any of this from you years ago." He opened his mouth, but I pushed on before I lost my nerve. "She stopped because every time she tried, you told her it wasn't good enough. You taught her to give up. I've watched you do it for 9 years." The table was dead silent. My mom set down her glass. Marcus hissed, "Don't you dare talk about my marriage." For the first time all night, Priya lifted her head and looked at him, and she didn't say a word. "I'm not trying to hurt you," I said softer. "I'm telling you what we've all been watching." Marcus shoved his chair back and stood. "Unbelievable. You ambushed me in front of everyone." He snatched his jacket and was gone, the door cracking shut behind him. Priya stayed seated for a long moment, staring at her hands. Then she stood, slow and steady. "I'm sorry," she said to my parents. She looked at me, and something in her face had changed. "I can't keep doing this either." She picked up her bag and walked out, not after him, just out. Now half my family says I had no right. Was I wrong?